Oh, wow. Okay, so this is cool. I have not been live on YouTube yet, so I'm actually really excited. Let me try to get this. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get this all started because I have people that are like supposed to be waiting for me on Facebook, and Facebook was not letting me do it. So we just decided to come on over here and let me go into here and discussion. Okay. Comment. Let's see. Well, let me add a post. Okay, there we go. Facebook Live is not working. Join me on YouTube. So how is everybody? I'm trying to do this without looking for the moment so I can get this post up. And then, okay. All right. So it is our first coffee chat of the new year, which is super exciting. For those of you who do not know me, let me give you a quick little rundown. My name is Kimberly Cox. I am the voice, the face, the brain behind Magical Mommy Spot. I am super excited to be here and to be able to come to you guys live and to have this little chatty kind of time. It has definitely been an interesting start of the month, honestly, start of the year. I'm trying to tag some people that I know said they were interested. Okay. So, yeah, it has been an interesting start to the year. I am super excited and super happy that I get to do this. And I'm also super happy that I'm on the path that I'm on to helping people deal with things like CPTSD. So, for those of you who do not know, a long time ago, many moons ago, like probably 7.5 years ago or so, I was actually, it was about 6.5 years ago. I was diagnosed with a complex post traumatic stress disorder. And I just kind of shoved it to the side. I was like, this is what it is, whatever. Yeah, I've been through some crap. If you have not seen my story, I have part one up. I do not have part two up. Part two is going to be coming. If I get a chance to get it recorded today, then I'll get it recorded today. And if I don't, then I don't. I'm kind of on that whatever happens, happens kind of thing. So that's where I'm at with that. But it's definitely been interesting as I have started diving into CPTSD and what it means and how trauma at a young age and trauma over the course of a long period of time when your body is in fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode for an extended period of time, and that cortisol hormone is being pumped through your body, you know, it's not being pumped and then stopped and a long period of time goes by and then it's pumped, a little pump of it again. Like we're talking, it is constantly being pumped through. So it changes the way that your brain functions. And I, for a long time, did not want to admit that. I wanted to say, okay, like we're in healing, we're going to get to the end, there's a destination, we have to get there. And at this point, it just hasn't been that way. And I had to come to a realization where I had to say, look, like ADHD, your brain is wired differently. When you've been through trauma as much for an extended period of time, it becomes problematic, if you will, to do pretty much anything. Facebook is telling me that I need to start a live. So let me see if I can get it to go live on here. Okay, it's wanting to. Yeah, I don't want to cross post. Okay, so I am live in 2 different places now. Oh, we're going to make this happen, aren't we? Alrighty then. I'm going to pop Facebook here, and I've got YouTube up here. Hopefully y'all can hear me on both ends. Compensate. So look again. Welcome to Coffee Chat. This is the 2022. I'm Kimberly Cox, the voice and the face and the brain behind Magical Mommy Spot, where we talk about all things mental health and neurodivergence and homeschooling and manifestation and lots more. So I was just talking to YouTube because I was not able to get onto Facebook right away, and I didn't even think about doing it off my phone. But I ended up I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube. So I guess we're streaming two ways today. I'll take it. So I was just talking about how CPTSD has been a major thing in my life, and how I started out on my journey being diagnosed with it about 6 years ago, but kind of putting it on the back burner and being like, oh, no, like we just need to heal from this stuff, and I can push past this and I can be okay. And having to fight myself with this idea that it was like a constant fight in my own head with how I felt about the situation, like my brain not processing things in the same way as everybody else's. And with ADHD, you have that problem too, but then you add on top of it another layer of different processing that clashes with the first layer of different processing. And it just becomes a little bit more difficult. So I finally came to terms with it and got to a point where I had to say, okay, like I have to accept that this is something that I have to deal with, and I have to find ways to work with it instead of working against it. And that is kind of where I'm at. That is why I am doing this. That is my big, like, the reason why I am here, the reason why I do what I do is because I know that there are so many people out there who either have not been diagnosed with CPTSD or have been and just aren't looking at it the way I did, like just sweeping it under the rug. So dealing with that, also dealing with a child with autism and ADHD. And then there's just all these little side subset like diagnoses and things that you deal with. Hi, Peggy. Peggy is watching on Facebook. So yeah, it has been a interesting kind of, little bit of time. And I wanted to come on and I wanted to start doing these coffee chats once a week. Preferably what is going to end up happening is I am going to go, especially now, because now that I'm actually live on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm on YouTube on my computer and I'm on Facebook on my phone. So if I can get this set up to work, then I will be going live regardless, I'll go live on YouTube every week, and then I'll go live on either Instagram or Facebook back and forth as the weeks go on. Just so I'm touching my different platforms and stuff. So, but I just wanted to come on and give everybody the opportunity to kind of ask questions, to hang out, because I think sometimes we just need that friendly group of people who kind of gets it sometimes. And maybe not every area of what I talk about is something that is your jam. And I will try to, get through different areas so that we can kind of move this forward. I'm not trying to be on here for 45 minutes or an hour. So, like I said, my CPTSD, that was the one thing that's been the lifesaver and the game changer in my life, was being able to admit, okay, like, you have these issues. These are things that you need to just roll with. You can no longer ignore them. You can no longer sweep them under the rug. And you are definitely going to have to find ways to work with them if you want to make things a success. So that is bringing me to like goals for 2022, because I feel like so often we try to set these goals the way that everybody else sets goals. And we try to be that person that everybody else wants us to be in that. And then when we can't do it, or when it gets frustrating, when things aren't working right, we kind of unravel, and then we say, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it. And honestly, I look at it the same way as I look at ADHD and setting goals with ADHD. Like, you just have to have the supports to meet you where you're at in order for it to be a successful goal setting session, in order for you to get where you need to get. It is exciting for me as I think about all of the places, all of the achievements that are getting ready to happen, because you just have to, it's called scaffolding, and you just kind of you meet yourself where you're at with what you can do, and you just build from there. And a lot of it is reverse engineering. So you look at your big goal and you break it down into little pieces. And sometimes that's difficult for us, especially if we get overwhelmed really easily. And so sometimes we need another person to bounce ideas off of, to say, hey, look, this is what I have for this. Am I forgetting something? And when you break those into smaller tasks, you can even break those smaller tasks down into smaller tasks sometimes. There's a lot of TikToks and YouTube shorts and memes and stuff right now in the ADHD community to talk about how you can have this the one that I always see is like the dishes. So you have this task of doing the dishes, but to an ADHD brain, it's never just doing the dishes. It's like, I have to, rinse the dishes and put them in the dishwasher, but the dishwasher is full. So I have to unload the dishwasher, put those dishes away. I have to rinse the dishes, put them in the dishwasher. And then I have to wipe the counter and wipe the sink and, throw garbage away. And there's all these tasks that you don't think about because they're small, and you say, do the dishes. And most people know that those are the steps to doing the dishes. But someone with ADHD, it just overwhelms their brain with all of the things. So maybe you break it down into, I have to unload the dishwasher, and then I have to rinse the dishes off, and then I have to load the dishwasher. And maybe you break those steps down and you put them on a to-do list, and then you cross those off. Because I know for me, I get a dopamine little hit every time I cross something off my list, because I feel like I've accomplished something. And so if I can list all of those little bitty steps on there, then I'm going to be doing so much better. like that's going to be a big deal for me. And it's going to give me that dopamine hit that I need. And I'm going to be able to move forward and do more. Um, I saw one, I saw one and I absolutely loved it. It was like, I trick myself by saying, putting on my to-do list, like fold one shirt. And then the all or nothing part of my brain is like, well, we already started, so we have to finish now. And that's how I like get to do that. And sometimes some of us can use those kinds of things to our advantage. And you just have to know yourself and how to get things done. Um, Another thing that I'm a firm believer in is doing things you're passionate about and limiting the things that you're not passionate about. I mean, let's face it, we all have to do dishes, and I don't know how many of y'all are passionate about dishes, but I know I'm not. But I still have to do it. But I don't have to do some things. There are things when someone wants me to go out and hang out and do something and I'm not feeling it, I don't have to do that. And so those are some areas where I can be like, okay, I can do some things that I'm passionate about in those areas, and I cannot do things that I'm not passionate about to make up and kind of get the balance going. So I'm gonna have my first sip of coffee chat. Like I should have done this like at the beginning, right? We're a little behind today, but I also woke up 2 hours late this morning. So we're doing good for where we're at right now. So that is that. And I think setting goals that are achievable, but yet a little bit of a stretch. I think sometimes we try to stretch ourselves a little too much because we get a little too ambitious. And so we need to like come back a little bit, set some smaller goals to get to a bigger goal. Have a big goal, but then set some smaller goals to help you get there. And I think that's a really good way to do things. That's kind of my little bit on goal setting. I am super excited because we have been doing a really good first week of homeschool. For those of you who do not know, if you're, coming in the middle of this or whatever, I have two daughters. They are just turned 8 and 9.5, and my 9.5-year-old has autism and ADHD. And we tried to go through the public school system, and it was kind of hit and miss. We had some bullying issues and things that happened. So I decided to pull the kids out, and we are doing homeschool now. And we deschooled for like 3 months. So October, November, December, we pretty much deschooled. And now we're into some curriculum and doing some actual lessons. And they're actually doing really well with it. I'm proud of them. They're not complaining too much about having to do it. The curriculum that I found is pretty easy. And by easy, I mean like they're not going to give you a 20-minute video to watch and then an extra 10 or 15 minutes worth of work per subject. It's like a 5-minute video and then like maybe 20 or 30 questions asking to make sure that you know what they're talking about, and then they move on. And the kids can go really fast through that, which makes them feel like they're achieving something and they're hitting those goals, which keeps them interested in wanting to do it. So I think that we finally found a good fit. I definitely want to add some other stuff into it, but for right now, that's kind of where we're at. And we're kind of taking it slow because I just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or a week from now. And so, like, just trying to add a little bit of stuff in there at a time and then see where we're at and how things go. And then we'll just kind of go from there. So that is that. I am not seeing anybody's comments on anything. So if you guys are commenting, I will definitely get back to you when I see comments. Like I said, this has been like this morning. I woke up 2 hours late and I was like, okay, we need to do this. but I felt very, very relaxed. Like my kids have already done Friday school. So they are now done for the weekend. They do not have to touch it again until, Monday morning, Monday afternoon, depending. Hi, Kelsey. I see Kelsey's on. So she's on Facebook. I'm dual wielding here. I have YouTube and Facebook going at the same time. I feel a little bit accomplished today. So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at with everything. I'm, I'm excited because I feel like things are moving and things are happening. So, and on top of all of that, I have some really cool things that are getting ready to happen soon. They're in the works right now. One of them I can tell you about. I have told you about in other videos before. I'll go ahead and mention it again. Next Monday, not this coming up Monday, but the Monday after, I record a podcast episode with a very awesome podcast. I will be linking them soon so that you guys can see. Hi, I see somebody on YouTube too. Awesome. So it has been very, like I said, very interesting. We've got some very cool things getting ready to happen. The podcast, end of February, early March, I have some really cool stuff that I have slated to happen. And we're just kind of rolling with things. So that is pretty much where I'm at. I feel the need, since I do talk about manifestation, I feel the need to pull a card. So I'm going to pull a card for the collective and see, you just never know when you get on these things, what's going to happen. This is kind of my, like, whatever happens, happens kind of a thing. And it's fun. So do you have any questions for me, Kelsey, or anybody that's watching on YouTube or watching on Facebook? If you have any questions for me, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will answer them when I can get to them. All right. Let's see here. Well, I'm not going to take all of these, but I will take the top one. I am excited about the podcast. I think that it's just all been a magical thing. I'm going to take these two cards for everybody. The first one is listen. I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see it, and then I will read it. It says, quiet your mind, beloved one, and listen to our gentle reassurance that everything has been taken care of. Stay in a quiet and receptive state without worrying about the exact nature of your desires manifestation. A quiet mind and body hears us quickly and clearly. This is our request to you. Listen. So I love that one. And then we also got the ocean. The deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping in its healing womb brings about desirable effects. Better yet, spend some time physically near the ocean. Allow its power and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. So I love those cards. I think that those are really good cards for the energy that's coming up this weekend. For those of you who do not know, we have a first quarter moon happening in Aries. And Aries is that sign of let's go, let's do this, ruled by Mars. And it's going to be an exciting time because I feel like for a lot of us that have goals and a lot of us that have big goals, it's going to be like, yeah, come on, let's do this thing. And we just have to be really intentional about things right now. So that's another reason why I'm trying to do stuff like this, because I really want to be intentional about building this community. I think that this community is amazing. And, they say you create what you need in life. And I think that that's exactly my plan. Is the times that I've sat back and went, okay, like I could really use some people who get me right about now. Okay, so let's put it out on a platform and let's create that community. Alrighty, I am gonna hop up off of here. I hope that you guys have a super good, awesome weekend. Let's get some of those intentions set and goals ready to work. And fingers crossed, tonight or tomorrow, I will get to recording my part 2 of my story. Part 1 is up if you have not seen it. And I will talk to you guys later. Guys, have a wonderful weekend. Bye.